Hello, I'm MPX Toycat, and I'm going to level with you. I usually don't like taiga spawns because they mean you're going to be surrounded by taiga for a long time. But this seed is one that was shared with me by This Is Chris publicly on Twitter, and it's one that you're not going to believe because it's not just a taiga biome at spawn, it's not just something that you're probably astounded to see next to a taiga biome, which is a mushroom biome. This should not happen, should not be possible regardless which version of Minecraft you're playing. This mushroom biome is backed right onto the taiga in a way that is so interesting and bizarre by itself, but then it somehow gets a step crazier because that's right, this is a taiga village fully formed on the mushroom biome. This whole thing is impossible on a level that's really hard to describe, but I want to try in today's video because Seed Sunday, we're doing a little one-off to come back, and I hope you all enjoy it. But let's get started. What is the seed? It's on screen right now. What happens when you type in that seed? You spawn in a taiga biome and it doesn't look like much until you realize that it's got a mega taiga biome behind it too. So a mushroom and a mega taiga, a giant, it's actually called the big tree taiga or something like that. It's got like two of the rare Minecraft biomes right at spawn. This is a experience, again, it's hard to say this very often, but this is an experience that is hard to replicate anywhere else. It's gonna be a survival experience like no other, but it gets crazier because if you go to the north here, you'll find this snowy taiga. I would say this snowy tundra, I should say. It's a biome which is already kind of rare enough. A lot of people enjoy them just in and of themselves, but you know what's even nuttier than that? Off like the 3 or 4 major rare biomes in Minecraft, you know, there's mushroom, there's those mega taigas, maybe there's the jungles, the shattered savannah, and then there's the, obviously there's the ice spikes. Well, guess how many of those there are within a healthy area of this spawn? Wow, yeah, there's a third one of those. Also, just because I find this so interesting, there's some frozen rivers around here. I love frozen rivers. I will always talk about my love for frozen rivers, but this frozen river is submerged perfectly. Again, look at this. The netherrack generates perfectly into the river with a ruin portal. The ruin portal isn't too useful by itself because it's just so big, but it does have 2 blocks of gold and of course a ruin portal chest. So get yourself a golden shovel with silk touch or a smite 5 golden sword. These are the things we need in our life. Obviously, every time you load up the seed, the chest will be random. Also, here's something interesting: a ravine that goes through a frozen river. The frozen river takes precedence, so the ravine actually stops. But on this side, there is an abandoned mine shaft. And on this side, get this, you can tell from the slime spawning in daylight that it is in fact a slime chunk. This is one of the most useful ravines. I think all the slimes are going to die now, actually. Well, you know what? When the slimes are alive, this is one of the most useful ravines you can have, because if you want to turn a giant chunk into a slime farm, I can think of no better way to start than with a giant ravine going through the ground. I think that's so wonderfully useful. And again, easy access via this frozen river. You don't even need to make your own ice highway because the game makes it for you. Mostly, I mean, there's this little gap you'd have to clear yourself. That is incredible. 3 rare biomes and that's before we mention the mushroom village, which we have to come back and mention again, don't we? Because have I mentioned already, there's a mushroom biome at spawn. There are mushrooms next to where you spawn in, and around those mushrooms is this, a village. A legit, full-on 1.14 village and pillage, brand new village, just chilling in the mushroom biome. Look at these cows. They have the most luxurious grass you've ever seen. And yeah, it really is a nutty thing to see, especially because the grass blocks that spawn here spawn with the mushroom type grass, which obviously is very, very green. It's super vibrant. If you can get grass in a mushroom biome, it's something that's really a delight to see. It's more effort than it's worth for most people, but here you can see the benefits being paid off. These villagers, Corner Hard MC mentioned something really interesting on Twitter. He was like, you know, sometimes you find a village that has a pillager tower in it and it's super dangerous. This is the opposite of that. This is the safest village ever. Even if zombies want to spawn here, they can't. It's a mushroom biome. It's oh so safe. But again, let's talk about how this happened. That's what we like to do on this channel. How is there a village in a mushroom biome? So first of all, let's just be very clear. The taiga biome joining onto the mushroom biome is something that the game tries not to have happen. It clearly has failed right here, but a taiga village is generated next to a mushroom biome, and the villages will only generate in the 6 biomes of the 6 types of villages. However, it's very lucky in that one of those 6 types of villages, the taiga village, has its perfect generation point right here at the edge between the taiga and the mushroom. This means it expands out in all directions, and it doesn't check, even though it checks to see if the spawn point, the central well or whatever else is the center point, it checks to make sure that's in the correct biome. It doesn't check for every other building that it passes. When it built this and this, it didn't check if it was in a taiga biome, and that's how we have this, a blacksmith with a full-on set of blacksmith loot. That's actually incredibly underwhelming. But all of the blacksmith loot you could ever want, all here in the taiga biome. Isn't that nice? And it gets even better in case you think like, well, it's cool, no mobs spawning, and also, some mushrooms, and also a whole village, which will be very, very safe from invading forces. But again, this seed gets better. One of the ways, in my opinion, is the fact that they're littered with caves. You can see right here that like some of the village, like it's very easy to go down underground. If you want to get coal, if you want to get iron, if you want to go even deeper, it's very easy to on this seed. There are caves here, and again, you don't even need to worry about darkness in the caves. There's no skeletons. Again, this is not peaceful. I'm just flying through a cave. You probably can't see very well. You know what? I'm flying through a cave this dark, and there is not a single mob anywhere. If there was, you would hear it. That's incredible in my opinion. So that's a really nice benefit. But then also it's the fact that not only do you have your ice spikes and the whole tundra to the north, if you want it. I know some people aren't in love with that. But if you head to the south here, if you go to the very southern tip of this mushroom island, which is not a mushroom island. Look at this, by the way. Some of the mushrooms have generated outside the mushroom biome, which is super interesting in my opinion. You get this, which again, interesting to look at. It's the weird crossing of two biomes in a way that you don't expect. But if you just head a little bit further south, you'll find this. As you can see, it's the tiniest fragment of an iceberg. Wow, so exciting. It's a desert well. Oh, so exciting. Makes the seed by itself. I was worried. You know, mushroom biomes don't have desert wells. So what if I can't find any water? Don't worry, plenty of water to be found on this seed. But even better than that, one of the rare and interesting, and perhaps some would even say one of the best biomes in Minecraft, you'll find it right over here. No, I'm not talking about the desert, which, by the way, second desert well, mwah. Look at this, by the way, generating right at the edge of the desert. I'm talking about this, a shattered savannah. Except, one of the quirkiest things about this to me, again, I'm not even going to argue this is objectively good. I think it's a bit of a downside, but it's quirky and weird that, as you can see, the shattered savannah biome, with its deep green grass that makes it oh so beautiful, the shattered savannah biome is super tiny. It's this little blob right here, and it's this little blob right here. That is the extent of it. The rest of this entire savannah biome, and it's a huge savannah biome, is all the way over there, and this is all that's over there. And then, as you can see, we've also got ourselves a ruin portal. We got a village. We've got all the structures you could want, including this, by the way. Oh, look at this village with like the weird green wave of water going through it. What's that all about? Sorry, green wave of like land. Look at, if you want to see some of the most interesting like land, you know, like grass. Grass here is this color. Grass in the swamp is this color. Grass in the like edge of the swamp is this color, and then grass in the savannah is this color. 4 different colors of grass. If you really want to be quirky, you can just throw a few more blocks down so you extend into the desert. You can have all 5 types of grass color within not very far of each other right here on this seed. This is one of the most interesting seeds I've seen in a very long time, but because I want this to be a quick, again, short seed Sunday to show you something interesting, the seed was on screen earlier, but I'll show it again now, and I'll just say, this is incredible. It's a fun thing I enjoy showing off, and again, I like Seed Sunday, but I think it's you gotta know when to sunset something. You've gotta know when to have something fade off into the distance, and then, you know, bring it back at a time where it makes more sense, rather than having it forever and everyone forgetting that it's even so useful. And I don't know, Seed Sunday seems to be particularly that way, especially since I'm such a big advocate for long-term survival worlds. But this is a long-term world for me, not for survival, although I'm sure at some point I'll have a great survival use for some video series. But instead, I want to use this for a few weird videos that I might be making in the future. So if you spot those, you'll know what it is. And if you don't see those videos, then I spent hours working on something that went nowhere, and maybe you find that even more interesting. Because isn't that something quirky about YouTube channels, that like, you only see the videos that end up being released? You don't see the videos that don't get released because they're not released. And you know what? You don't care about this. What you care about, though, is desert wells, am I right? Aren't they beautiful? Yes, the answer is they are beautiful. And now you know what happens if you don't go. And now you know that you should never try, or you might die. Goodbye. That's a bad message, but I'm sticking with it.